Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ohio Guys.
Hello.
We're here tuning in at Liberty City Anime Con in New York City.
That's right.
And I'm here with Tyler Walker. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a great time. We're in Times Square. We're in the heart of the beast, New York City. It's me and Heather's 10th anniversary yesterday, and what a crazy anniversary! Like, who gets cheered? Like in front of a crowd. It's been awesome, and all the guests here are great, and it's been a great time.
Oh yeah, definitely. New York's definitely. I expected some of it, but it was also different.
Yeah.
Because first time here, so
Oh,
it's a
really?
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And what's it like working in the industry today?
The industry today is well, we've got our big thing with broadcast dubs, and so you may be working on a series that doesn't have an end yet. It's maybe based on a cell phone game that's out in Japan, and there's not a lot of. Sometimes you can't read the manga or watch the whole series like always before. And usually at the same time we're working on a DVD dub. So normally I'm working on 2 shows at least at once, if not 3. I just went down from 5 to 2. So the industry is crazy these days, and we're very busy, and it's very productive. Thanks to the fans for subscribing and for buying and stuff. And an interesting thing is we see people who, I've been in for 14 years, and we see people who were young who, like Marcus Stemick, would watch Yu Yu Hakusho and like wants to be an actor and like goes to school, and he and his brother are successful and they're theater people and their love is anime, and it's because of like work that like I was part of, and it's interesting to be in for that long and see how it's changed to where you have more fans coming in and fans that have really taken their stuff very seriously.
Oh yeah. Also, what was it like performing on Hellgirl?
Directing Hellgirl, it was cool, man. It's like because everything was a villain of the week kind of thing, and some of them were kind of goofy, and then some of them I got Caitlin Glass to cuss, which was a rare thing, and she's like, "Well, I won't say this," and then she like improvs just like just some very choice 4-letter words. And I don't know, it was cool. And there was the whole formula with In My Eye at the end, and Brina then was still kind of new to the industry, and so was Todd, and a good cast on that, and I could vary it up, which I like.
Yeah. Also, what was it like working on Black Cat?
Black Cat was interesting because that was the first show that I didn't have a real producer on. I'd done Basilisk before, which I loved, and then I did, like Negima and Rumbling Hearts and Peach Girl and stuff that was kind of tied in with other people. And Black Cat, I got more freedom on that, and that's when I had met Brandon Potter, and it was his first audition. It's like, well, hey, how about you want to be the lead, Sven? And I kind of developed a pattern with myself of taking new people in and like giving them this huge responsibilities in the show and trusting them. And I think that's a big part of the actor-director relationship is putting trust into someone and someone respecting the trust that you put into them.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Also, what was it? Speaking about Negima, what was it like working on that show?
It was just like so silly. Like the funniest thing I remember from Negima is that that's when I got to use my falsetto more in directing, because a lot of the lines are like, "Oh, Negi," and like all this stuff, and like I'd have to like I'd give line reins. It's like, I think it's more like this, and so it's like, I don't know, it was funny. They're like, "Oh, you should be one of the girls, Tyler," but it was fun, and like Greg Ayers loved to tell the most evil jokes in that little innocent, little tiny British accent. I won't repeat them. I shan't repeat them. But it was a good time. He was hilarious.
And definitely, I don't know. It was interesting on the opening, or just the concept that in order to unlock all the secret powers, he had to kiss all his students.
Yeah, well, thanks, Japan.
Always expands our horizons of imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what was it like performing on Hero Tales?
Hero Tales was cool. That's one of the first ones I got to work on with Michael Tatum. Me and him were the two main script writers on that. and so like we'd kind of like challenged each other on like language and use of language, and like you could say the most like how I had Brian Mathis, who great actor, he sounded like James Earl Jones, and that uses his deepest voice as Kiro, and he would say something like. Oh my God! Like this is a mere candle flame to the Holocaust to come, and like destiny has no bulwark, save our fist, and he's really just elaborately like overdone lines, and I don't know, like, and then like Taito, who was Newt's character, was just so plain speaking, and also I got Chris Sabat to do like these 4 or 5 brothers who fought him, and I was like, this guy's Kuwabara, this guy is a Mustang, and like so we just kind of, this guy's Piccolo, and he got to do like all his most famous voices for this one fight scene, basically.
Yeah, that's really cool though. So definitely fans, check it out. And also another show that's really fun to watch was what was it like working on ShangriLa?
Oh, ShangriLa was very close to my heart. It was very tough because also Tatum and I and Patrick Seitz wrote the script, and we had very kind of specific social strata and class education strata, and it was interesting because that's all female power, right? You have all the girls at the Kuniko, and then you have her grandmother, and then you have Jennifer Seaman's character, I can't remember her name at the time, and all these female-oriented power structures, which is kind of rare. And then you also had all these different classes of people. So you had Mikuni, who was the kind of empress-to-be, and she was spoken to in a very flowery Elizabethan type language. And then you had the military, who were more, military speak. And then you had the kind of uneducated underclass. And then you had the powerful elites, and then you had the revolutionaries, and they all had to not only sound different, but read different on a page.
Kind of like social behavior.
Yeah, it was a big like class and like social striation, and like how that affects, and how they were grooming Mukini, who is played by Afia Yu, to be a certain thing, and they spoke to her a certain way to engender this certain sort of aristocracy, and this kind of destiny has no power against us kind of thing, and it's very interesting. And like Anastasia Munoz's character would talk to her one way and talk to someone else in a completely different form of language. And working with Heather on that, doing Hiriko, and just having her do this like super crazy tortured child. It was like and she loved it. She would do all this really hardcore stuff and come out like just smiling because she got therapy.
I was definitely not expecting the shrieks just to come out of the pool. It's like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
And also it worked on it touched on some transgender issues with Kent and Randy Perlman's characters, because they had to be larger than life, but not characterish, and they had to be brave, and they had to be strong, and they had to be wise, and they had to be gentle, and they had to be all this stuff, and be treated well. And respected, and those were like 2 of the most iconic characters of the show. And Kent had some amazing lines. And he loved it, and he just really owned it, and everybody that was a part of the show really connected to it, which is very gratifying. And I connected to it. I challenged myself. Those scripts would take twice as long as a normal one, and it was hard work, and I would love for more people to see it, because I think that's one of the more overlooked titles.
Yeah, definitely very underrated.
I don't know if it was, it could have been sold a little differently, because it had all the social, political issues and all the LGBT issues, and it wasn't as known,
just marketing strategy could affect everything. Yep. Also, what was it like working on the show Tokyo ESP?
Oh, Tokyo ESP was cool, because I kind of that blended a little bit with ShangriLa to me, because it's all about kind of fighting this kind of power structure, and like there's all this. The art style's a little similar. And of course, I worked with Adam Dahlberg on that. Sky Does Minecraft, and it was like kind of a whirlwind. Like we just spent this week together, and we recorded all his lines, and he was fun. He's hilarious, and we go out to lunch and dinner, and he was very open-minded and wanted to. We take him to the local taco place, and he had a guy filming him. This guy Red, awesome Red Vactor, and. It was strange, and so since we were kind of using a new talent, I felt that I wanted to highlight some other cast members. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? So I could use someone kind of new to the scene like Jeff Schmidt, who's an amazing theater director, Lydia Mackey's husband, and Jenny Liddell, who I'd seen live and who plays Kagura in Fairy Tale, and just some other people, Mallory Rodak. And kind of bring some people in who you don't hear or see all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Keep the fans interested and basically, keep them guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And for our newer fans, is there a way for them to get a hold of you on social media?
Yeah, I'd say the best thing to do is follow me on Twitter, MonkeyShines9. I didn't post for a while very much, and I'm starting to post a little more. And you can always tag me or whatever, and you can look up my band called Wire Wings, and we have a Bandcamp page and a SoundCloud page. I also have a Monkey Shines music page, because I'm a musician and drummer, and so that's how I got into the anime industry, was through the music industry, through the music scene. Chris Sabat and I knew each other, and some other people, Matt Pearsall, who went on to do video game sound design. But follow me on Twitter, MonkeyShines9. Look for me on Instagram as Monksalot. And that's about it.
And also, is there anything that's coming out very soon or that has come out recently that you could plug in for our viewers at this time?
Well, right now I'm working on Tales of Zestiria, The Cross. And we're doing that kind of a bi-coastal, if you consider Dallas the Trinity River a coast. No, but I'm doing all the Texas recording, and Christian Lamont is doing the LA recording with actors out there. So it's interesting because I don't know some of those actors, and it's interesting that because they know each other, and we're getting we're merging the two, and I think the product has sounded fairly seamless. We're working on it, but a new episode comes out every single week, and there's a new Fairy Tale coming out very soon. The next volume's coming out, and the pre-orders for the volume after that is coming out soon after that, and so the whole episode, everything should be dubbed by the end of the year, or should be out by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of next year.
Yep, I'm David.
And I'm Tyler Walker.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ohio Guys, everyone. This is Kangaroo Court.